Google sees, oh, this Google My Business profile is active, therefore we're going to rank it higher, right? So yeah, activity is one free home run for SEO, and it's one of the easiest ones to get dialed in. If you ask any Google Ads expert, like what's one of the first things you do when setting up a new Google Ads account, almost everyone will say, step one, turn off all the recommendations Google will give you. Marketing is all about testing. You got to test, right? You got to test a bunch of different keywords. You got to test a bunch of different ads. Google Ads has like a beginner version of their software, and they have like a full version of their software. Both are free, right? So if you're going to do it, make sure to do the professional version, because beginner one, there's just not enough settings to get it dialed in. If you ask any Google Ads expert, like what's one of the first things you do when setting up a new Google Ads account, almost everyone will say, step one, turn off all the recommendations Google will give you, because those recommendations are all about how to give Google the most money possible. You know, we're not here to give Google as much money as possible. We're here to give our business as much money as possible using Google as a tool, right?
So I never really understood that, and I guess that's why I'm in more of the content game, not the SEO game. But the very minuscule knowledge that I have, like we just make a daily blog post and we just keep saying the name of my town and the business that I like. Is that how that works? Like do I just try to do as much content or writing as possible? Like is that the trick?
If it was back in 2005, the answer would be yes. Okay. So just having words on the page, right? If it was all about just sheer content, what I would do is I would just have, you know, an AI robot write a 1 billion word blog post with every keyword imaginable and post on the website. That's not going to rank well. There's a lot more to SEO than just sheer content amount, right? Just, you know, Jay, just like your podcast, if I just make a crappy podcast with terrible audio, nothing relevant, sending it to the wrong people, that podcast isn't going to do very well, right?
Right.
YouTube channel is going to sit at 0 subscribers because your content's garbage, right? Same thing with SEO. Google comes out with a kind of like a newsletter thing where they tell you exactly, okay, this is what's in our algorithm, right? They don't give you like the exact metrics, but they tell you what they like to see, and it always directly correlates what's in their algorithm, right? Google said that I think there's over 200 different variables that are built into their algorithm, and only one of those variables is just like content amount, right? You got to make sure you other 198 or 199 as well as just building blog posts. And that's one of the most common misconceptions I hear when I'm talking to new people. They're like, hey, SEO companies suck. Like I've been using this company. They've given me 2 blog posts a month for the last 2 years and I've never gotten anything from it. And I said, okay, well, sweet. They're nailing the one variable. What about the
other 199?
You got to make the right content as well as do a lot of the other signals back to Google, right? Some signals may include, you know, page load time. You got to include like images. You got to like label those images. You got to have the right meta tags. You got to have links from your other pages pointing at that blog post. You have to have that blog post linking to other pages.
Oh, that's called backlink. I know that.
There you go. You need, and then everything in Google's connected, right? You got to have Google reviews. You know, funny enough, your Google reviews from your Google My Business can help more people land on your website. When people spend time on your website, they know that this Google My Business is relevant.
Man, this is awesome. I'm learning like so much already. It sounds to me like if you're like a newer business trying to kind of get things up and running, build a solid website, run Google Ads so that you can be seen. But while you're doing that, start building your SEO, right? Then you can kind of, as your SEO is coming up, you can start to lower your Google ad spend and next thing you know, you might be just organically ranking and being found, right?
Yeah. And what most people do, I see, is they actually just keep their budget there. So that way they're showing
Mm.
up for Google Ads and
So it's
SEO.
like even more.
Yeah. So it's even more. So, I mean, so yes, if you wanted to stay the same, you could lower your Google Ads as your SEO comes up. Or if you want to grow, like most local business owners, you just do both, and as SEO kicks up, you make more money, you can increase your Google Ads, and it's just consistently just taking over each other and growing, growing, growing.
Okay. What about like when you get a review, right? Like what about like responding to the review? Like does that help the business be more visible? Like from, you did kind of mention like reviews do help SEO, the responding to review, or maybe even like responding to it quickly. Like does that help at all?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say, we talked about 200 different variables for SEO. This is one of the easiest variables to get perfected, right? When a review comes in, respond to it. That might sound silly, right? If it's a good review, if it's a bad review, just respond to it. That is a Google My Business signal, and Google loves signals. It shows that you are a local business who is actively working, right? If your business has gone like 3 years without getting a review and you haven't responded, they're like, is this Google My Business profile even active, right? But when Google sees there's activity, right, you're actively getting reviews and you're actively responding to them, Google sees, oh, this Google My Business profile is active, therefore we're going to rank it higher, right? So yeah, activity is one free home run for SEO, and it's one of the easiest ones to get dialed in.
Can someone leave you a review that is not necessarily like related to the service that you provide? Like, can someone go in and leave you a review and say, oh, like, he's such a great person. I haven't used this service, but I'm sure they do a great job, or something like that. Like, does that help or hurt, or it doesn't really matter?
Yeah, I would be lying if I said my siblings haven't left a review on my service, even though they've never used my digital marketing agency.
Right.
At one point, Google had a button that said, did you actually use their service? Yes or no?
Okay.
So basically what that says is Google would prefer to do that.
Got it.
If you think about it, you don't really need to resort to having your siblings leave you a review, because most of the home service businesses I work with, they're doing several jobs a day, right? And so one of my clients who got over 100 reviews in a single year. Basically, he just told his employees, every time you finish a job, go knock on the door, go find the business owner, do whatever, and give them the QR code of our Google My Business, and literally all they have to do is scan it and push submit, right? It's just 2 steps, scan, submit, right? So if you can cut down that friction in leaving the review, getting reviews is super easy. You won't need to resort to, getting mom and dad and
Is it okay if they don't write anything?
So
like just do 5-star, don't write anything?
Yeah, so you can always do that. It's not going to hurt you at all, and it's only going to help. So not every review is the same, is weighted the same. If you can get a review in your local service area, that review is worth a little bit more. If you can get a review with like a picture, that's worth a little bit more. If you can review with like text that says something about the service, that's worth a little bit more. So yes, mom and dad can leave a blank review that says like, oh my gosh, Jordan's awesome, but I only have one mom and dad, right? You have 5 customers a day who can be leaving you reviews with pictures, with this in various locations in your service area that will be weighted even stronger when it comes to Google reviews.
Got it.